Hi there. I'm Colin Pittman, and with me I have Clayton Sloan. And we are from the Deadly American Viper Assassination Squad 7. DeVos 7. And we will be talking about the Abolition Movement. Now, the Abolition Movement involves slavery and North and South and dividing and the Civil War. It was a wild time.
And not being nice.
Yeah, not being nice. Now, we're going to start off with listing off our influential figures. Now, first, we have Theodore Dwight Weld. Then, we have William Lloyd Garrison. I hear he was pretty good.
Followed by Frederick Douglass.
Yeah, Frederick Douglass. And then we have Elijah P. Lovejoy.
And then our favorite Sojourner Truth.
And finally, Harriet Tubman. Now, these were all very influential figures. Alright, we lost Clayton, but we're still going. They're influential figures, and we all give them a thumbs up. Now, on to the thing that started all of this, the Missouri Compromise. Now, the Missouri Compromise did mainly affect Missouri, as you can see. Now, it did affect the Union as a whole, and it was very, very strong and terrible thing. Now, it started in 1820. It was a spark of the beginning of the abolitionist movement.
It created the 36-30 parallel, which with all states north of the line were admitted as non-slave states, and those below are admitted as slave states to keep a balance.
And Missouri, being on the line, they decided, you know what? We don't know what to do, so we're going to make them a slave state. And this caused a lot of controversy within Congress. So this actually led to a lot of abolition and believing not slavery and slavery, and led to the Civil War itself.
Okay, next up we have Theodore Dwight Weld, a very snazzy man. He had a childhood experience that really started his whole abolitionist fervor.
Okay, tell us.
Yeah, and when he was in school, this African-American kid named Jerry was in his class, and his teacher segregated him from the rest of the class, and, Weld was like, that's not okay.
It's not okay.
He made a very courageous move, and he went and sat with Jerry, and, of course, he got in trouble for it, but that he believed in being against slavery, and he wanted equality for all people. And so he was very influential in the abolitionist movement. He created the paper book, American Slavery as It Is, Testimony of 1,000 Witnesses. Now, this was a really, really powerful book and sparked a lot of the following of the abolitionist movement, and it even influenced other books such as Uncle Tom's Cabin by Harriet Beecher Stowe.
All right, yeah. So another person we have is William Lloyd Garrison. Now, William Lloyd Garrison is well known as the symbol of the abolitionist movement. He was very extreme in his ways. He thought there needs to be immediate abolition or emancipation, and that it should not be gradual and slow emancipation. So many people thought he was very extreme in his ways, but he did get his point across very well. Now, he started by putting his ideas in a newspaper he edited called The Liberator. Now, The Liberator was his way of getting his opinion out. He was even thrown in jail for a while for voicing his opinions the way he did.
Dedicated to the cause.
He was very dedicated to the cause. His aggressive journalism even made him known as a Northern abolition radicalist, and Georgia even put $5,000 out for his arrest. Now, he formed many anti-slavery societies among the colonies, or the Union itself, and was really well able to get out his opinion and start a group for this. Sunday! We're gonna be talking to Frederick Douglass!
Oh boy, okay, Frederick Douglass is our man. He was...
We lost Clayton again. So, Frederick Douglass, he was born a slave into the Auld family. Now at 8 years old, Mrs. Auld defied state law and taught him to read, which is a pretty crazy thing, right, Clayton?
It was pretty crazy. Pretty cray-cray. Now, Frederick Douglass, this education helped him become what he became, an influential writer and speaker for the abolitionist movement. So he was a slave, obviously, but he's free. And he used this passion from his personal life to fuel these emotions that he put into a newspaper called the North Star.
Oh, yeah. And he put a lot of his ideas in there and helped try to create a following. I remember that.
Yeah, he really did. And it was important in that it helped people kind of realize really how just destructive and inhumane slavery was. So he was a very important figure in the abolitionist movement.
He also went over in Europe and talked for a little bit. I remember that he talked to Europeans, threatening, which threatened his slavery. So he went through a great cause and was willing to sacrifice a lot to get his points across. So he was a very important figure who really showed what he believed in. Now, on to Elijah P. Lovejoy. Now, he was an American newspaper editor. Now, it's kind of a sad story. He was martyred as an abolitionist because he did die fighting for his cause and for his beliefs.
That's honorable.
It is very honorable, but it kind of sucks, he died. But, he was a martyr, and he did show his sacrifice for the cause. Now, in 1827, he moved to establish school and entered journalism 6 years later, and he became the editor of the St. Louis Observer. Now, he was condemned for slavery and supported gradual emancipation, unlike William Lloyd Garrison, who wanted immediate emancipation.
Wanted it right now.
He wanted it right now, but this guy right here, he wanted it to go slow, so it would be okay for people getting adjusted to.
So up next, we have Sojourner Truth.
Sojourner Truth. Now, she's an interesting person, isn't she?
Yes, she is. She was a slave that escaped slavery with her infant daughter in 1826.
Yeah. She actually had a lot of trouble when she was a slave. During slavery, she had many moments of just pure hell.
Yeah, she was bought and sold
many times. Some of her masters died, and other people took ownership of her. And when she finally settled down after being sold twice, she was finally settled down in one area, and that's where she learned to speak English, which she actually used to her advantage in many of her speeches later on, because she was a civil rights activist and a women's rights activist.
Yeah, she used her personal experiences to really outwardly speak out against slavery. Just put a lot of emotion into it with her famous speech, "Ain't I a Woman?" that highlighted the problems with being a woman as well as a slave in this time.
Yeah. Now on to Harriet Tubman. Now, Harriet Tubman was born into slavery. She actually had a lot of trouble too as well. She's well known for starting the Underground Railroad.
Which was not actually underground.
It was not underground, but it was a way for slaves to get out of being slaves. Now, she helped promote the abolitionist movement this way by showing that they can be free, and she actually had 19 trips down and back saving people from where they were. It's wild how many people she helped get to where they were.
It was a little different than the other ones, considering that her contribution to the movement was less of public speaking and more of actual doing.
A lot of her stuff was more actions, much more than actually having said anything. So now that we're done with all the influential figures, we'd like to say bye. I am Colin Pittman.
I am Clayton Sloan.
And this was the Deadly American Viper Assassination Squad 7. Well known as DeVos, and we are signing off. We wish you all a good day and hope you enjoy the rest of it.
And happy holidays.